Hello and welcome to The Explainer. Okay, let's be honest. We've all been there, right? Trapped in a meeting that just feels like a complete black hole for your time and energy. You just know there are good ideas in the room, but for some reason, they never, ever seem to come out. Well, today, we're going to dive into a really powerful way to fix that for good. Seriously, just think about that for a second. What if you could flip a switch and turn those dreaded meetings into these amazing engines of innovation and real engagement? Imagine the quietest person on your team. You know, the one with amazing insights who never speaks up, finally sharing an idea that completely changes the game. That's the kind of shift we're talking about today. So why are so many meetings just so bad? Well, here's the thing. The problem isn't the people. It's almost never the people. It's the old, broken structures we keep trying to use. We're putting brilliant, creative people into these flawed systems, and then we're shocked when we don't get brilliant results. It just doesn't work. In our meetings, they almost always fall into one of two traps. On the one hand, you've got the super rigid ones. You know, the death by PowerPoint, where one person just talks at everyone else. It totally stifles interaction. And on the other hand, you've got the complete free-for-all, the chaotic brainstorm where only the loudest or most senior person gets heard. Sound familiar? And the result of these broken ways of working? Well, it's a list we all know too well. People just check out, good ideas get lost forever, frustration builds up, and this isn't just a small problem. Get this. Companies in the US lose an estimated $37 billion a year because of unproductive meetings. That is a staggering waste of money, time, and human potential. But what if there was another way? Well, there is, and it's built on a surprisingly simple idea. And, I was skeptical at first too. How can tiny changes make such a huge difference? But believe me, these small shifts in how we structure our conversations can lead to absolutely massive changes in results. They're called liberating structures. Now, don't let the name throw you. All it is a collection of 33 simple methods. You can think of them like little recipes for group conversation. They're just simple rules that guide how we connect with each other, and they completely change the game in terms of who gets to be included and who gets to contribute. And this quote, it just nails the feeling perfectly. It's like in jazz, right? The musicians know the key and the rhythm. Those are the simple rules. But inside that structure, they are totally free to improvise, to create something new and amazing together. This is structure that actually creates more freedom, not less. So, if you remember one thing, let it be this. The whole thing, it all comes down to one simple, incredibly powerful idea: to include and unleash everyone. Every single one of these little structures is designed with that one mission at its core. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, right? But let's get practical. This is where the rubber meets the road. I want to show you 3 of my favorite liberating structures so you can see what this actually looks like in action. First up, we have one called 1, 2, 4, all. And this one is a total game changer for anyone who's ever asked any questions, only to be met with a wall of awkward silence. This simple structure makes participation not just an option, but inevitable. Okay, so imagine you just gave a presentation. Instead of asking that dead-end question, you say, all right, everyone, for the next minute, I want you to silently think about this one question. After that minute of quiet thinking, you have them pair up for 2 minutes. Then 2 pairs join to make a group of 4 for 4 minutes. Finally, each group shares its biggest idea with everyone. And boom, in about 12 minutes, every single person in the room has thought, spoken, and been heard. I love this quote from Picasso. Sometimes to create something truly new, you have to tear down the old stuff, the bad habits, the outdated processes, the things that just aren't serving you anymore. And that is exactly what our next structure is all about. This next one is called Triz, and it is honestly one of my favorites because it's so much fun and unbelievably powerful. Its whole purpose is to help a group figure out what counterproductive things they're doing so they can stop and make space for real innovation. So the way this works is just brilliantly backwards. First, you get your team to brainstorm all the ways you could achieve the absolute worst result possible. How could we totally epically fail? And it's amazing how much fun people have with this. But then comes the magic in step 2. You go down that list and ask, okay, honestly, which of these are we actually doing right now? It's such a safe and hilarious way to have a really tough, important conversation. All right, this last one is an absolute gem for when you need to sort through a ton of ideas quickly and tap into the wisdom of the whole crowd. It's called 2510 crowdsourcing, and it's like a high-speed brainstorming and voting session all rolled into one. So get ready for some energy. Everyone writes down their single best idea on a card. Then, everybody stands up, walks around the room, and just passes cards to each other randomly. You yell stop, and everyone rates the card in their hand from 1 to 5. You do this a few more times, it's fast, it's fun, it gets people moving, and in less than half an hour, the group's best ideas naturally rise to the top. No long, painful debates needed. So you've seen a couple of the tools now, but what happens when you really start using these on a regular basis? What's the real long-term payoff? Let's talk about this so what, because honestly, this is about so much more than just having better meetings. Well, you start to tap into the brain power of everyone in the room. People start to truly own the ideas and decisions because they were part of creating them. You don't need phony buy-in strategies anymore. You're actually building trust and psychological safety with every conversation. And you unleash all this innovation that was always there, just trapped under the surface. And what this all leads to is something called true self-organization. And no, that does not mean chaos. It's actually the opposite. It's about creating the conditions where brilliant solutions can just emerge naturally from the group itself. Without needing a boss to dictate every single move, you're trusting your team to be brilliant and giving them the structure to prove it. I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds amazing, but where on earth do I even start? Well, the best part is, you don't have to be some kind of expert to get going. You can make a real difference with almost zero risk in your very next meeting. So here is my challenge to you. The very next time you're in a meeting and you're about to ask any questions, just stop. Don't do it. Instead, try running a 12-minute 1-2-4-all. It's one simple swap. I promise you are going to be blown away by the difference in energy and the quality of ideas you get back.
And please, remember this. You don't need anyone's permission to make your own meetings better. You don't need a special training course. The only way to get good at this is to just do it. Experiment, practice, and have some fun with it.
So I'll leave you with this one final question to think about. Now that you have these simple, powerful tools in your back pocket, what's that important, courageous conversation that your team is finally ready to have? Now that every voice can truly be heard. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive into fixing our broken meetings. I genuinely can't wait to hear about the courageous conversations you get to have with your teams. Until next time, take care.